EECA, Mr. Hewitt, which is submission 72.
Yes, you are. This is part 1, sorry, part 3, page I-18.
Oh, I had questions for that other one.
How's it work? Oh, there it is there. Goody gumdrops.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, shit, what do I look?
So now,
Yep.
all you do is just click and it'll go to the next one, or
Just
roll the
that
mouse.
one there? Okay.
Okay.
Lovely, thank you. We're right to go?
Yeah, I'm getting close. So there you go. So you understand the deal?
Yep.
10 minutes. If you wish us to ask you questions, please give us some time in your 10 minutes. Thank
No
you.
problems. Mr Chairman, councillors and council staff and visitors, thank you very much for allowing the Energy Efficiency and Conservation Authority to talk to their submission today. The whoops, no, that's fine. The authority is charged with supporting and promoting energy efficiency and energy conservation and the use of renewable energy across the nation. We have a transport program, we have a business program, and I believe that some of my business colleagues are working with the council on their long-term strategy plan for energy efficiency. I'm part of the residential program and the Warm Up New Zealand Heat Smart program, and in 2009 we started with a program. We had $340 million to spend, and the government wanted us to do 288,000 homes. We finished up at the end of that program. We achieved 241,000 homes done, and 136 of them, of course, were low income. In 2013, the government decided to have a different approach and spend $100 million over 3 years to target a low income, and we had a target of 46,000 to do low income homes, high health needs, and do those installations for free. Currently, with the two programs, we've completed 278,000 homes to date. Housing stock characteristics, which I'm sure you're all aware of: cold climate, rising damp, overcrowding, older buildings, timber stock, the list goes on, ageing population like myself, and a lot of families are getting rheumatic fever, etc., because of the state of the housing stock in the country. The EECA's stance on all this is that it's important to insulate prior to heating it, then curtains on windows, ventilation, draft stopping, etc., as you see there, and wall insulation would be really great as well. The benefits of insulation, and I'm sure you all understand it: cold, damp houses, people with respiratory problems. It just exacerbates that problem, especially over winter. If you have a nice, warm, dry home, you've got reduced hospital admissions, reduced days off work, school, etc., and the ability for older people to age in place. The Warm Up New Zealand Healthy Homes program we have going at the moment, we provide up to 60% of the funding. The remaining 40% is provided by third-party funds, and I'll touch on that, that the Hawke's Bay is very, very fortunate, and with contribution by landlords. Homes in your area qualify through our local service provider. Basically, it's free for low-income people who have a CSC card. Children and the elderly are prioritised, of course. People with health issues, heart conditions, etc. Landlords with eligible tenants are also eligible as well, and we do expect them to make a contribution. The majority of houses in this area in particular still need insulation. As you can see there, the last census, Hawke's Bay region had 58,000 homes, 80% pre-2000, and don't have insulation. Figures there. So far, a third of the homes have benefited from the Warm Up New Zealand programs, and we've done just over 14,000 homes in this area. And so you've still got, we still have quite a number left to do. In the Hawke's Bay region, just had positive comments here. Been very, very fortunate. The Hawke's Bay Regional Council has been involved in doing insulation and heating for a number of years, and EECA applauds that, and working with the council has been an absolute joy over the years, and the results speak for themselves. Those figures up there where it says 64 claims, they're really 484 since July of 2013, and under the previous targeted rate scheme, you actually achieved another 3,156. So that's a really awesome result. Yeah, it should be classed as VTR as voluntary targeted rates. TRS and the old system was a targeted rate scheme where we used to put some money in as well. So yeah, just different things there. As I say, the Hawke's Bay region is extremely lucky. We've had the Hawke's Bay Regional Council providing funding and assistance. The DHB has also put funding in, and of course the Hawke's Bay Electricity Consumers Trust has put money in as well over the years. So that has enabled the number of houses to be done in such a wonderful manner. And like I said, there's not very many council areas that can lay claim to having such brilliant support in the area. So good luck, and as I say, thank you very, very much for that. The Ministry of Social Development have identified there's another 11,000 homes that would qualify for our Healthy Homes program, so we'll be targeting them as we go. And of course, you all know the ongoing benefits of all the voluntary targeted rates. Over 18,500 homes have been done under the voluntary targeted rate scheme, and the benefits are long-lasting. Hawke's Bay Regional Council has supported the projects with VTR. In the future, this could also include an eco-design advisor. And the council itself, under their progressive way that they do business, I guess, will adopt greater energy efficiencies and utilise EECA's expertise where we can help. And so, any questions? But we do have a lot of information on our website, and we're running out of time here at the moment, but it's not too bad. So, any questions that I can assist anyone with?
Yes, thank you for that. You mentioned the 11,000 odd homes. Could you just walk me quickly through the process? If a social worker comes across, at MSD, comes across a family that should be in a better insulated home and discovers that it's a rental home, what happens?
Okay, what normally happens is that they will contact our service provider, who will go out and assess the home, and the service provider will then negotiate with the home owner, if it's a rental property, and they will see if they can contribute something towards it, maybe $300 or thereabouts. Don't quote me on that, but that's roughly what the rental homeowner would be expected to contribute towards the cost of.
And if the homeowner is not interested in this subject, what happens?
We do expect the home to be done anyway, and that's where the DHB and the Electricity Consumers Trust come to the party, and they, in a lot of cases, will cover those costs for the service provider.
Councillor Scott.
Eco-design, why us and not a TA with Building Act responsibilities?
Good question. The 8 eco-designers that we do have in place at the moment, or that the nation has in place, are scattered throughout the region or the country. They are working for individual councils, and it was just a thought that with the Hawke's Bay Regional Council being a leader in providing VTR, etc., they may wish to look at at moving a step further and looking at a eco-design advisor to be on staff.
Councillor Dick, very quickly.
Yes, you got ongoing funding.
We have funding until the end of 2016 under our current program. There is no official response yet as to whether that funding is going to continue. However, for every dollar the government spends, they get over $5.50 return in lowered health bills. So I would imagine that would be a fair thing to say that it will continue.
You just support insulation.
That's correct at this stage, yes.
But our council has continued with its loan schemes for heating.
Yep.
Yep.
And Longmate can continue. You're doing a fantastic job.
Indeed. Thanks.
Thank you, Mr Hewitt.
Thank you very much, team.
Good timing. Thank you for your preso, and we will be in touch. Thank you. Thank you. Right, who've got now? Marei, Apatu, Te Taiwhenua, or Heretaunga? There you go.
Councillors, this is, the submission is in part 1, page I-81.
We're just going to speak to things, thank you, dear. Atu ake au ki te mihi ki a horua ko tai mai, no reira a piki mai, kake mai. Engari I tēnei wā ka huri aku whakaaro ki te korau e taputo mai rā I te Marei o Mocho, a me atu ki ai, me tōna whānau pane, e tani ana I tōna taha. No reira ngā mate huhua o te motu hari atu koutou ki runga I tō mātou aroha. No reira kōrua hara mai. Kei te mau kōrua ngā wawata o ngai tāua, no reira, piki mai, kake mai. Kia ora. Pirangi koe ki te whakahoki ki te mehe, engari I muri o te rā, ka mea atu a Fenton ngā ture e pā ana ki o 10 minutes. I muri. Ka pai.
Well, there you go. 10 minutes. Kia ora tātou, or koutou, I should say. 10 minutes. We've read your submission, but if we'd like to ask you questions, you've got to do it within the 10 minutes. So
Absolutely.
Kia ora.
There you go. Oi, whakautu atu ki te mihi ki a māua nei tēnei te mihi atu I tautoko ana ki ngā tini mate I tēnei wā, no reira tēnei te mihi atu ko koutou. This is our greeting from Dale and I to your respective councillors and to you, Mr Chairman, and that took me 15 seconds. So, okay, we haven't come with a PowerPoint as such. I'm taking exactly what you've said, Mr Chairman, is that you've received this, you've read it, and so we like to do things face to face. So therefore, fire away. Pātai atu kia māua nei. Just ask questions.
Well, there better be some now after all that. Mr Moore, got to kick us off, I think.
One of the submissions from our whanauna at Waimarama was for a better working relationship with the regional council. How do you see that happening?
It's absolutely what Te Manaki Taiao and this particular organisation, Te Taiwhenua, stand for. We've been in a holding ground waiting for, as you know, the treaty settlements to take place. What will then enact is, of course, that direct relationship down to Waimarama, but when's that going to happen? And in this regard, it's great to see that Waimarama have jumped ahead of a majority of our, some 17 marae and hapu, have got the nous. They've got certain big skills and expertise, and we would support that effort if they were going to create for themselves growth inspiration plans, documents that would be relevant to the management of their marae and their culture.
Further questions?
Kare rātou I pirangi ki te pātai ki a koe. Māori tourism, do you think it's been fairly treated by the so-called wider umbrella?
It's not really my strong point, Mr Mohi, but I will say that there is a responsibility, particularly around ōrite-tanga, sameness, and I think that reflects one from my understanding, Māori wanting to be in that space, along with non-Māori, and if that effort's going to reflect their part in this really, really important economic space, then I think that you, as a council who've got quite a bit of control, should exercise that sameness to those that are standing.
I've got sorry, Councillor Scott. I've
Thank
got a
you. If
question.
I can pick up on your point D under relationship with Māori, the opportunities to align the Mataranga Māori with Western Science, are you finding that that is happening through the tank process?
I've actually seen it happen before the tank process.
Oh, that's nice to know.
And it's not without having to start almost like bipolar. You stand over here, there's a situation and a position on this side, and obviously for me it's trying to work towards each other. It's as simple as that, and so the tank process has been a challenge for most of us. I think to say the importance of what tank is doing shouldn't be understated or underscored. I think it should go through the quality of time, and there will be some of those that would say it's going too slow. Look, we've been subjected, from my point of view, to a number of different things that push along at the extent of taking away certain quality aspects, may include things Māori, such as Matauranga Māori. And I think that also begs the question that at times when you don't understand these concepts, that there needs to be a fundamental way by which to have that conversation in amongst tech. And I think we're still getting there.
So my question also relates to part D there, and just talking about the financial commitment, you know, which could be 1%, or they're getting close to 1% on the rates, the bottom line. How have you had any discussions with your people about their views on them having to pay, you know, another % in rates to cover this sort of stuff? Or what's the general feeling about rates in particular in your rohe?
Well, we're all ratepayers, those of us own land, so we're hit by that double knife edge. Hey, look, we're putting skin in the game, so it's not as if the council is left to sustain that entirely on its own. We've demonstrated that in the past with the strategic relation that's come up with a huge outcome that's going to benefit not only Marei and Hapu, and that's the Manaake document, but also in its intent, council, so that we're able to work towards a relationship. And let's face it, the relationship has been soured by a number of things, such as going to court. It's better for us, and I've learnt this, it's better to negotiate than litigate. And honestly, I think that we need to move into that space as quickly as we can. In terms of what would our Conservancy think about that extra dollar being added onto our rates, they wouldn't think too highly of it. But I think that you need to keep that in line with what spends are going on and what negative spends there may be that could be converted and lessen the load on us ratepayers.
Councillor Graham.
Thanks, Marty. In section E and F, there's some dissatisfaction from Taiwhenua around our committee structure, our employment structure, our committee structure in the Māori committee and in the regional planning committee. So, what would you like to see there?
Ooh. Well, I guess we totally as council and as Māori are going through this really, really important defining stage of our relationship, and that's the settlements of the claims. And as we've seen, the Māori Standing Committee, which has been a great device that's sat in amongst this organisation, we've now got the treaty settlement groups that are arriving. I compare, I guess, the capacity of this organisation in regards to the support that, say, for example, both whether Māori Standing Committee or, in this case, the RPC, are actually going to be supported in that capacity on the ground, back from one end of Hawke's Bay to the other. So this, I think our approach needs to be, we're expecting these layers to come along. I think that the expectation is that we should be working towards enabling be a key enabler. If it's going to be one at the end of the day, the RPC, then they need to be fully supported. In my mind's eye, I know that there are capacity issues to roll out in terms of who's going to communicate well. Say, for example, up in Wairau, back down here in Whanganui-Arotu, let alone coming back over to Tamatea and Heretaunga. So that for me is a bit of a key concern in terms of how well that's going to be suitably resourced and the opportunity to communicate back out to its respective areas.
There was another hand up, I think. Oh, Councillor Scott.
No, I just want to pick up on a point that you've made and has been raised by other submitters, and that's the need to get the communication from both the Marei Committee and the RPC back to Hapu, and the suggestion of biannual Huia Hapu. You feel there's a real breakdown and that the communication is not going back, and you'd like to see who participating in that. Would it be the Māori representatives, the staff? Who do you see need to be on hand delivering back to Hapu?
Just to qualify, if I didn't make an intent or a statement that relationships have broken down, I guess that's no.
Just not getting it right down back to the Hapu.
Right.
That's a suggestion that people are being
Well,
left out of the mix.
We were created on the expectation that when the settlements were going to be set off on its pathway, that we were going to enable it get to wherever that outcome for it will be. And so we've been there, constant, sustaining that effort in the premise that by the time they do get to that stage, a number of things would have been done in order for that not to re-trigger itself back to the beginning. And amongst that, of course, have been the relationships that we have with this council. I mean, why premise the arrival to be the beginning? And what we're saying here is that we're a conduit, we're an enabler to enable Marei Hapu to achieve what they call our own mana motuhake. So how long will that take, is the question. We're here. And we're the same people. Question for Dale. It's only 18 seconds.
I'm reluctant to ask him a question because it took him that 40 seconds to ask it before.
The question will take 2 minutes. Firstly...
No, firstly, you've got 5 seconds.
Okay, so you've got 4 requests for funding here. Yep. Can you prioritise them?
Dale.
Like, we've got millions of dollars of requests that we've heard so far, and we're not going to be able to fund all of it, so we're going to have to prioritise. What are your priorities?
I guess, as Marei just said to me, mana ake and the development of that, because when we sat around the table here...
Just priorities, not reasons.
Oh, yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, mana ake. The tank process, we asked for monies within that, the cultural monitoring.
Cultural monitoring, because we're out of time, seriously.
Yeah.
There's other people waiting.
Yeah.
Mana ake, tank, tag, what was the last one?
Cultural monitoring.
Actually, cultural monitoring. Oh, that's a hard question, guys.
With 10 seconds to go. Hey, we'll leave it there. Thank you very much for your time and your presentation, and we will be back to you very shortly. So, kia ora.
Okay, kia ora.
Kia ora.
Kia ora.
Now, why or why not?